Hello and welcome. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Beyond World is One with me, Diksha Bisla. Let's start with the speed news. Donald Trump has been sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Trump took his oath for a historic second term inside the Capitol Rotunda at Washington, D.C. Following his oath-taking, the new U.S. President, in his inauguration speech, said that the golden age of America begins right now. Trump added that he is confident and optimistic on his return to the presidency. He further said that the country is at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
Many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith.
The new President of the United States, Donald Trump, has revoked 80 executive orders of the Biden administration. Trump has called these orders as destructive and radical. Further, Trump has also scrapped the three-gender policy followed during the Biden era. The 47th President of the United States said that his government will officially recognize only two genders, male and female. He also added that he will end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to withdraw from country the Paris Climate Agreement, marking a second exit in less than a decade. Following this, he signed a formal letter to the United Nations notifying the global body of the country's intent to leave the 2015 accord. With this move, the US joins a small group of nations such as Iran, Libya and Yemen that are not part of the accord. Under the agreement's rules, exiting would take a year after submitting formal notice to the UN. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, through a spokesperson, expressed confidence that US cities, states and business would continue to push for low-carbon economic growth despite the federal government's withdrawal. US President Donald Trump has granted pardons to more than 1,600 of his supporters who stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump, just hours after taking office, also ordered that all pending criminal cases against Capitol riot defendants to be dropped. A total of 1,583 people were charged in connection with the assault on Congress by Trump supporters seeking to disrupt certification of Democrat Joe Biden's election victory. Trump had reportedly pledged during his election campaign to pardon those who took part in the attack, calling them patriots and political prisoners.
Categories, again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
US President Donald Trump made massive proclamations on the border and immigration policy. During his inaugural speech, Trump said that an emergency will be declared at the southern American border and military will be deployed to ensure migrants do not cross over. Following the announcement, US border authorities shut down the immigration program that allowed migrants to schedule entry appointments with an app and cancelled existing appointments. Emotional reactions poured in from many who were waiting to have their application processed. According to reports, an estimated 11 million immigrants will be impacted by Trump's policy change. US President Donald Trump said that his government is planning to impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico as part of their administration's new trade policy. Speaking at the Oval Office, the 47th President of the United States said that he was thinking of imposing the tariffs as both Canada and Mexico have not taken any stringent action against illegal immigration and drug trafficking into the United States. He also condemned Canada as a very bad abuser and for allowing vast number of people and fentanyl to come in.
So I thought it might be fun for us to do.
World leaders congratulated Donald Trump as he took oath as the 47th President of the United States. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he looks forward to working with his dear friend again for the benefit of both India and the United States. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu affirmed that best days of US-Israel alliance are yet to come and sent his warm wishes to the 47th President of the United States. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said he was ready to work with Trump for peace with Israel based on a two-state solution. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky hailed Trump as a decisive leader. The Ukrainian president also wished the new US president success, saying that the two nations can work together to provide greater security, stability, and economic growth to the world. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin said his country is ready for a peaceful relation with the US, while applauding Trump's efforts to prevent World War III. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also extended his warm congratulations to Trump, emphasizing that the special relationship between the UK and the US will continue to thrive in the years ahead. US President Donald Trump is offered a 75-day grace period for TikTok by signing an executive order that delays enforcement of a ban on the short video app. The executive order delayed the implementation of Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Protection Application Act. Trump further said that he was seeking a 50-50 partnership between the US and TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance. Hundreds gathered in a park several miles from the US Capitol, protesting against a wide range of issues as President Donald Trump was sworn into office for the second time. The protesters, braving icy conditions, expressed concerns spanning environmental issues, LGBTQ rights, race relations, immigration, among others. Not just in the US, anti-Trump rallies were witnessed all across the globe.
Poverty and insecurity to
prevailed against the Zionists and long live the
our family and bring out that energy. I know it's cold. Be outnumber them 100 to 1.
solidarity and unity.
Vivek Ramaswamy will not take up the Trump administration role he had been named for in the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. President Donald Trump had selected Ramaswamy to lead the Government Efficiency Commission alongside billionaire Elon Musk. Ramaswamy, who sought the Republican nomination for president in 2024, has signaled plans to run for governor of Ohio. Ramaswamy's departure from the department was confirmed hours after Trump took office. Ramaswamy took to social media and wrote, "It was my honor to help support the creation of DOGE." He added that he would give me details about his future plans in Ohio.
As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed that Gaza will not pose a threat to Israel ever again. The warning came on the second day of the truce in the enclave. The Israeli PM also reiterated that he will ensure the return of the remaining hostages. On the first day of the truce, 3 Israeli hostages were reunited with their families after Hamas fighters handed them over. This was followed by the release of 90 Palestinian prisoners from the West Bank. In Israel, there was elation and excitement as the hostages returned home in good health. More than 900 trucks carrying humanitarian aid entered Gaza on Monday, exceeding the daily target outlined in the ceasefire agreement. Nigeria has said that the death toll from the fuel tanker explosion has increased to 98. The deadly explosion happened on Saturday after a truck capsized near Saluja in the state of Niger. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency said that the blast on Saturday also injured 69 people. Niger's National Emergency Management Agency said that the death toll could still go up. They also added that the several bystanders taking pictures at the scene were also killed in the blast. Colombia has declared a state of emergency after rebel guerrillas launched a brutal violence that killed over 100 and displaced almost 20,000 people. The Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, has declared war against the rebel militants, the National Liberation Army, the ELN. The Colombian army on Monday started evacuating people from the country's northeast regions after the ELN reportedly targeted civilians accused of collaborating with the rival group. FARC-EMC, hundreds of terrified citizens took refuge in the town of Tibu, while several others fled into neighboring Venezuela. A catastrophic wildfire has ravaged the town of Los Sauces in Chile, claiming the lives of 3 firefighters and injuring 9 others. The blaze, which erupted on January 19th, has already consumed over 400 hectares of land, prompting a red alert and the evacuation of local residents. The firefighters who lost their lives in the blaze were part of a team that had been battling the inferno for hours. Despite the treacherous terrain and steep slope, they pushed forth to contain the fires and risking their lives. The municipality of Los Sauces has issued a statement extending its deepest condolences to the families of the deceased firefighters and pledged to provide them support. Instagram is stepping up to fill the gap left by TikTok's challenges in the US with its new app, Edits. Announced by Instagram head Adam Mosseri, Edits is described as a full suite of creative tools. How is it different? Well, the app promises a seamless video editing experience. It will help creators turn ideas into more polished content at absolutely free of cost. Currently available for pre-order on the Apple App Store, Edits is set to launch next month, where iOS users might start using the app soon and Android will have to wait, as the Android version is still in development. With this move, Instagram is aiming to capture TikTok's audience and empower creators with advanced tools. Staying on Instagram, the Meta-owned social media platform is extending the length of Reels from 90 seconds to 3 minutes, offering creators more room for storytelling and creative expression. The update, one of the platform's most requested features, was confirmed by Instagram head Adam Mosseri via a reel. Mosseri said that the changes aim to help creators share immersive stories and enhance creative expression. This follows similar updates by YouTube Shorts. Instagram has also added features to boost social interaction, like showing liked reels to friends and introducing a rectangular profile grid for a more polished look. OpenAI is reportedly unveiling AI super agents with PhD level intelligence by the end of this month. How is it different from current artificial intelligence by OpenAI? These advanced systems can perform complex tasks with minimal human input, mimicking human intelligence in goal-oriented scenarios, unlike earlier expectations from ChatGPT-5. The focus is now on these super agents, capable of addressing problems like a doctoral graduate. CEO Sam Altman is also set to discuss AI's economic impact with US officials. With this launch, OpenAI may push the boundaries of AI innovation, sparking debate over its future applications.
The US government might consider a combination.
The South Korean economy barely grew last quarter as political chaos weighed on consumer spending. According to a Reuters poll of economists who expect the Bank of Korea to cut interest rates next month following a surprise hold last week. Asia's fourth largest economy grappled with uncertainty from President Yoon Suk-yeol's brief martial law attempt, weakening economic sentiment and sluggish domestic demand, which overshadowed the recovery in exports. Oil prices were little changed in early trade as investors took stock of US President Donald Trump's plan to apply new tariffs later than expected while boosting oil and gas production in the country. Trump did not impose any sweeping new trade measures right after his inauguration on Monday, but told federal agencies to investigate unfair trade practices by other countries. He said he was thinking of imposing 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico from February 1st rather than on his first day in office as previously promised. The tariff reprieve initially helped push oil prices down, but duties on Canadian crude could eventually drive the market higher, according to experts. The dollar pared some overnight losses on Tuesday after US President Donald Trump suggested the United States could impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico in the near future. That challenges suggestion that his policies would be more gradual. The US dollar had fallen sharply on Monday after Trump's first day included no specific plans on tariffs, and officials signaled any new taxes would be imposed in a measured way. The market reaction was a knee-jerk fall in the Canadian dollar and Mexican peso. The dollar climbed 0.6% against the Canadian dollar and added 0.9% on the peso. The euro eased back too as the EU runs a sizable trade surplus with the United States and has been seen as a major target for Trump's tariffs. Argentina posted a record $18.9 billion trade surplus for 2024. According to official data, now that largely coincides with Libertarian President Javier Milei's first full year on the job. Last year's trade surplus exceeds the previous annual record of $16.89 billion set in 2009. Milei, a far-right economist and one-time political outsider, aims to make Argentina a net energy exporter, powered by its vast shale oil and gas reserves, while also easing currency controls to boost other exports. Neighboring Brazil was the main destination for Argentina's exports last year, accounting for 17% of the total, followed by buyers in the United States and Chile. Chelsea are back in the top four of the English Premier League. The Blues beat relegation, threatened Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-1 to end their 5-game winless run. Tosin Adarabioyo opened the scoring for the hosts at Stamford Bridge. Wolves grabbed an unlikely equaliser through Matt Doherty that just before half-time, thanks to a howler by goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Marc Cucurella restored Chelsea's lead in his 100th Premier League appearance. The hosts sealed the win 5 minutes later when Trevor Chalobah's goal-bound header was helped on by Noni Madueke. A teen pleaded guilty on Monday to charges of killing 3 girls and wounding 10 other people in a stabbing rampage at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in England last summer. Alex Judah Cubana, an 18-year-old, had entered the surprise plea at the start of his trial at Liverpool Crown Court. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder, 10 counts of attempted murder, and additional charges related to possessing the poison ricin and for having an Al-Qaeda manual. Former soccer player David Beckham and designer Diane von Furstenberg were honored at the World Economic Forum on Monday. Beckham, von Furstenberg and Japanese architect and social activist Reiken Yamamoto received the Crystal Award at a ceremony hosted by Hilde Schwab, the chairperson and co-founder of Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship. The former British soccer star said it was an honor to receive the prize for his philanthropic work. The World Economic Forum is held this week in the Swiss ski resort Davos. Trisha Tuttle, the new director of the Berlin Film Festival, visited the production of the Golden Bear and Silver Bear Trophy Awards in Berlin. She expressed her excitement and anticipation for the event, running from February 13th to February 23rd. Tuttle emphasized the importance of the festival's legacy, highlighting its status as one of the most significant film festivals globally. Trisha Tuttle took the top position at the Berlinale in April 2024 from the previous co-directors Carlo Chachin and Mariette Risenbeek.